stand by.
Do you know what's amazing about this angle? When Wesley, when Megan comes in to cuck him out, we're gonna see her coming. It's gonna be fantastic. Just wait. He's gonna come. Huh? Look at him. Here he comes. You. Oh, you heard us say that.
I heard you say something, but I didn't hear it. We are in
I am
recording
so
process.
focused. I am so focused that there was a mayfly flying around here, and I caught that thing out the air and smashed it on the ground.
You caught it by its wings.
Just like that. We can start. We can start the show just like that. How do you catch it out the air, bruh? You're catching rebounds here.
It's my super fast reflexes, my code vision. I didn't even look, I just went.
Yeah. Was it a no look?
No, I had to stay him down. I can't be that for other guys to stay him down.
I thought you were gonna drop the fucking maxima early in the show. Shit, boys, hold on. Can we start the show by just saying happy birthday, Tim?
Happy birthday, Timothy.
Thank you.
Well done.
Timmy had a like a birthday party. And it became one of those, you at a nice wine farm and everything was going very lawny. And then he was like, okay, now come back to my house and let me show you ghetto. Can't resist. You must, the inner you comes out at home. Must.
Carl Boster
Carl Boster and an NBA jockey, boy.
It's classy.
Right.
Classy.
Away.
Can I say something before we start? One, I appreciated both you guys spending the time. Warmed my heart. That was fantastic. And you know what happened after we went Classy Kirk and we came back, right? Wes came in to present my winnings. No? My winnings.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know what he brought me? No?
What?
First of all, he sticks out and he goes, how do you feel about Hansa?
Yeah. And what's the other one?
And then he was like, if you don't like that, then you gotta like some milk stout. But you know what? Wait, who won? Did you win, Wes, or did Kirk win?
Wes
Oh
won.
no, fuck. Kirk. So Wes, you won this last bet, right? Because I was gonna say,
Yes.
your Kirk, when you win, I've got some Hansa and milk stout.
I don't need to win another bet this year. I'm fine.
No, I'm just joking. I actually like milk stout. Hansa will be a new experience.
I was hoping you didn't. I was really hoping you didn't.
Why? So you can get it back.
Nah, just to let him have a 6-pack beer in his bar and never drink it and think this fucking Wesley bought me this cup beer.
Every time you see it, it's like,
Yeah. But I love it. So fuck Give me 1 second, boys.
But it's nigga catching up with Bam.
With Bamzo.
That he is doing so well. It's like, cool.
Yeah. And you know what's nice? He's taking the Owens on the journey with him.
Yeah.
So they're like 4 Owens that work in his team. Right?
Yeah, you were saying how your influence, that's been like the focus, which is quite.
Okay.
You were saying how through your influence, guys, well, he in particular, like, did that, like,
that's cool.
Looked out for teammates and stuff, because he was like, yeah, Simpra with you and blah blah blah. Like, so it's like, it's just the vibe.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah.
I was also when he said that, I was like, that is everything. That's like everything. That's legitimate, like when I get one step forward, I must make sure that my next bra is with me. Yeah, he must be with me, because I can't be at level 7 and all my bras are still at level 2. It can't happen. It can't happen. Yeah.
But the way he said it was interesting, because it was like when he started at Rebels, Timati was like, just practice, possible, 7 days a week sometimes, just possible. And then Timmy came and was like, no, that's just possible. It's like, that is and that is very cool.
That is cool.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know any of that stuff. So that's cool.
There you go.
That's quite.
I'm with it. And that's all clubs should be that way. I mean, that's just bottom line. All organizations should be that way.
Yeah.
I have a cheers, Tim. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, boys, let's get to the NBA. I when I sent the questions earlier.
Did you send questions?
Wow. Tonight is going to be very, very opinion based. And that's all right. Because we have 3 TikTok followers. So who gives a fuck, right? Yeah. All right, so listen. The 76ers.
Yay. Wait. You must shout out the TikTok follower.
Shout out Kirk.
And Megan.
Okay. We'll play this clip back. Yeah. Okay. Let's first see. I mean, which of you guys did you guys watch Harden's first game for the 76ers? All right, Kirk, you go first, pal. What did you see? What did you like? What don't you like?
So it's the same old story. It's like, it's a new team. They have one quiet game, and the whole world goes fucking for because they're gonna win everything. He's gonna be the MVPs. This is the best thing since anything. And who was the first game against?
They played
Wolves.
Timberwolves. They played Timberwolves, and they won that game by. I know it was
nice.
Close until it wasn't.
Moved them at the end.
But I mean, it was close for 2.5 quarters. Yeah. And then they beat New York next. I mean, everybody should beat New York, to be fair. So I'm not excited about it yet. I mean, we all know that Harden is quite. I mean, fuck it, that can. When he's dialed in, he is something to build. But as quickly as it comes, we've seen it can go very quickly. So it will just take one tweet from Embiid, and the whole thing is. So I'm holding. I'm not getting too excited to see it. It's still early days. It's still a long way to go. I mean, it's good entertainment, but I'll hold out until they achieve something.
Timmy, what do you think?
I'm cocky excited. I'm cocky excited with this team. And I'm cocky excited about this team because of everything that Kirk said. All that shit I love the fact that Bra Manalian can take you all the way to the conference finals. I also love the fact that Bra can destroy an entire franchise. Right?
Dude,
just because you don't smart like me anymore. Yeah. And you don't know until something he tells you, right? The Bra just stops playing. Right? His foot injury, right? He's the most passive aggressive of all superstars there is, right? And on the other hand, the actual franchise player, right, will tell you before he's even angry, right? He might get angry and he's already swearing at
Yeah.
It is this volatile situation that's either gonna win in a blaze of glory, right, or they're gonna self-combust and And so you know why I love it? I love it because I don't support the team, right? So watching it's gonna be quiet, right? And if they win, actually cool. They both got good. That'll be cool. Yeah. And if they lose, I don't care, but it'll be great entertainment. So I'm excited.
So win.
And if they're winning, do you know how much they're gonna talk? Oh, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
In the East, again, I really don't give a shit. And are you not excited to watch that Nets Philly game?
Yes.
Right. And imagine they go and they win, right? What will Joel say after that? Harden won't say anything.
I think we're gonna win the league.
Close. That was a close rendition.
So look, if your question was, are they gonna win? Nobody knows. Is it gonna be fun to watch? Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. Either way, whether they win or lose.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Because bottom line is, I think Philadelphia are a better team now. They're a better team. Yeah. So just based on, you don't think so?
No.
You think they're better with Ben Simmons on the bench?
They got two better players. I mean, they've got one good player, but they gave up Seth, they gave up Drummond, and those are key players in a team. I mean,
who do they have? Who do they have?
Wait a minute. I still believe that the Nets came out better in the trade, and I do believe that you'll see that when that Nets team might not gel this year, but over the long run, if they keep that team together for 1 or 2 seasons, that team will perform better than this team in the long run, I believe. Full stop.
It's funny, I'm not disagreeing with Kirk. I think that potentially over the long run, right, the Nets are in a better position. Maybe, depending on how fragile Simmons is. Like, so, but at least in theory, I agree with you. Yeah. But the reality is, right, that Philly is better now, without a doubt. Right. And if they didn't do this, potentially they don't have Joel in a couple of years' time. Right. Like there's only a and even if they have him, like your big man tenure, right? He was injured at the beginning of his career. He is one injury away from being clear. Yeah. And so the reality is, as much as I love Seth, right? As much as I love him, he's doing some great stuff. Right. Do you know why it's easy for teams to let him bounce? He's a crowd favorite. He creates open space. It's amazing. Check how much he plays in the fourth quarter in games that matter. They can't, especially if your other guard doesn't play defense. That prize, they will screen, and they'll pick and they'll look for him. They'll go hunt him, right? And so my point is, it's why he was a good player, but you can't play in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, right? And Drummond plays the same position as Embiid. You can't play him in the fourth quarter either because Embiid's playing.
That's why they strengthen the squad, because who's going to play when never mind.
Nine. I like it. Yeah. You are saying whatever Tim is saying. You saying that's exactly what a team should do. Because when Embiid is off, there's someone capable of replacing him. Yeah.
No. And we'll talk about that when we get further on down the question.
But wait, so this is about the playoffs, right? Because this is not the regular season. This is about how can you win now, right? The reality is when the playoffs come, these Owens are playing 39 minutes, right? So you're saying you're not going to get Harden, so you can keep Drummond for that 8 minutes that Embiid's off the court, right? And Seth, who you probably can't play anyway, because who the fuck is he going to guard in the playoffs? Nobody. Yeah? So
I'm not saying I wouldn't trade for Harden. That's why it was a good trade for both teams.
Okay, go. Now we're in the same place. Yeah. Hey, okay. Yeah. We passionately agree.
But say your but, man.
Next question.
Say your but. What is the but? Nah, let's not move on. What's the but?
No, but I mean, well, like we said, I still think that the Nets will be better over the long run because they've strengthened the squad. They've got depth now, and I mean that's why it's a win, and that's why it's a win-win because Joel needed somebody, and they got that somebody, and
so they're better now.
Exactly, and the Nets needed depth, and they got depth because that was a big issue for them.
And they potentially better long term.
Yeah.
But again, the amount of variables that sit on both sides, amazing, right? That's amazing.
Again, the Nets are one KD brain fart away from everything falling down.
Yeah.
KD, KD's gonna burn he's gonna burn the wrong herb in the stadium.
KD's like, no, I don't want to play basketball anymore. I want to fall off the edge of the earth.
Yeah. I'm gonna go find the edge of the earth in a canoe.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Conference finals. I'm over this.
Just to edge it a little bit, when they down 3-1 to the Bucks.
No, when they're up 3-2 to the Bucks, he's gonna. I'm done.
I'll give you KB and say there. Tim said Seth can't play in the fourth quarter. Show them. All right, boys. The Clippers. What do we know? I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch much Clippers games. Timmy,
stop ignoring Kirk's data.
I was gonna get there. I'm working my way first through you and then through Kirk. Is that a practice jersey, Kirk? What is that? Like a warm-up top?
My pajamas.
For real? Just?
Nice t-shirt.
You wear the pajamas.
No, man.
Why are you so interested in what he wears when he goes to bed?
Because he's wearing when he goes to bed.
What's wrong with you?
Where's like everybody else, I wear pajamas when I go to bed. But when I wake up, I drop the mic, brother.
Full stop.
Full stop. All right, boys, listen.
When I wake up, I drop in something entirely different.
I didn't want to go there, Tom. I didn't. I want to transition to talk about the Clippers. You went back. All right, Kirk, you got the t-shirt. Tell us about the Clippers to the people that don't know what the Clippers are doing at the moment. They are, in my view, a team that's playing good form basketball, but are sitting on the edge of the playoffs. And what are our thoughts? What do we think of the Clippers?
So when we spoke about the best ex-players as coaches, we touched on what's his name?
Tyronn Lue.
Ty Lue, yeah. And I think a lot has to do with the way he's managed that team and pulled that team together because, like we all know, they lost both their stars. And the guys that are showing up, they've got guys, they're putting guys in position to be successful. I mean, you got fucking Luke Kennard going off. You got that man like he's sticking out. So they've got decent pieces to be a good upper mid-level team, which they are currently. They are a solid upper mid-level team. But they're going to stay there. That's where they'll stay. Until they get their superstars back, if they ever get their superstars back. Well, we'll get one of them back. We don't know about that one.
Do we know any other news about Kawhi?
I read an article about Paul George. They said he's making good progress, but there's still no timeline on his availability. But Kawhi's done. Kawhi's out for the season. He's not going to waste time coming back for a play-in game. He's going to come play a play-in game. He'll be like, nah, have you seen these niggas play? Have you seen the Suns? You're not going to make it out of this conference.
I like that.
Remember, he did basically what Ben Simmons did. He just called it an injury.
Yeah.
And he did it in San Antonio.
Yeah. For 3 years.
Yo.
He literally didn't play. I think it was for 2 years he didn't play. 2 seasons. In the third season, they were like, actually, you know what?
They were like, you know what? Where do you want to go? You want to go to LA? Okay, fuck off. Toronto.
That's exactly what happened.
And then he won a championship. And they were like,
yeah. It's actually hectic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how did he get so lucky to not play so often and still end up with a championship? Gasses.
So when it's your time, my friend, when it's your time and the stars align, you can burn out however much sage you want. Yeah, I'll be focal when somebody else's stars have aligned.
Right. Tell me, any last thoughts on the Clippers or your view on them?
So look, if I was a Clippers fan, right, I'd be quite happy if like 3 of my top 5 players haven't played basically a whole season, right? And these guys are competitive every game, right? I think that's proper. Think about how many teams can pull that off. Right, 3 of your top 5 owners not playing. Right, that's mad, especially in a league that is built around superstars. Very few teams could do that. Yeah. But I'm not a Clippers fan, right? Because you know that in the last 2 years, the Clippers have won 2 playoff series. Right? Fucking beat the Mavs both times. So you know what? Fuck the Clippers. You know what? Do you know what injury? You know what injuries to 3 of your 5 players is? You know what I call that? I call that karma.
What do you call it?
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Remember, they lost games intentionally so that they could get Dallas, right? Karma, intentional losing.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
When was that?
Right at the end of last season. They intentionally, and I'm not sure the season before in the bubble, but they intentionally lost games. I think so, yeah. Look, look, I understand it, right? There was a bad matchup for the Mavs, a good matchup for them. Like, I get it, yeah. But I can still call karma on it.
Okay. Is it a fact that they threw the games?
Well, when you don't play any of your players, right? You're about to go into when you rest them for the playoffs, right? And instead of playing 1 through 8, you play 9 through 17. When you have to sign one of the assistant coaches to a nice 10-day contract. I mean, is it the fact that they lost? Wow. Those guys tried their best. If the Clippers give me a vest and I go stick out and play, and I play hard, right? They're still trying to lose.
Can you imagine when the owner says or the boss says you must lose and you put together this bunch of brasa and then they win?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's what's happening in Portland. Right? We're gonna fire sell everybody like Charlie at the end of the season. Everybody go. And then this is nice stuff. We want a high lottery pick. And the owners on left were like, no, we won't. Just by the way, interesting side note, right? About and I'm joking about the karma. But you know what the problem is when 2 of your superstars sit out and then you have all these other guys who step up, right? So you say Terrence Mann steps up, Luke Kennard steps up, The problem is that inflates their stats. So you had a good role player who was great for a role player, right? And their contract comes up and they put up big numbers, and all of a sudden you got to fucking pay them because you gave them more opportunity. And if you don't pay them, there's another team that will pay them because they've already proved themselves on that side, and it becomes a real problem, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and I call that more karma.
So they're gonna pay more.
More karma.
All right. The T-shirt. The T-shirt. Do we have a leg to stand on if we said Ja Morant could be the MVP, or is it a 3-horse race? I like the guy, but my answer is no. To me, your thoughts? I really like him, but I don't think he's going to be the MVP. That's my thoughts.
Austin answered, right? But it's a cut question if the answers that clear.
Oh wait, next question.
That's me. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm wanting you guys to elaborate. I don't want to elaborate, so that you can elaborate.
So must we elaborate on your answer?
No, you elaborate on your answer.
Hello, Tim. How are you? How are you doing, Tim?
Welcome to the show, Tim.
I was wondering where you were. Oh, there you are.
You see, you give a man a 6-pack of these. They go missing. So, Timmy, basically the question is, who's your MVP?
Okay.
Basically.
So the question is, my MVP is not Ja. Love the dude. Right. The reality is that a couple of things. One, he's inconsistent. He's not as consistent. That's the wrong words. He's not as consistent, right, as the other three. Yeah, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid. Right. He's just not. And actually, I think that's Embiid's potential problem. Embiid's problems are the same as Ja's. Also, the other thing is, right, Ja, his team started playing at their best actually when he got injured, and then he was injured for Taichi. Right, whereas Jokic and Giannis have just been around a little bit more. Jokic has been around the entire time. Yeah. Also, I think collectively, his team or the perceived view of the talent around him is slightly better than certainly Jokic, right, and Embiid. So it's part of their narrative is that they pull these Owens through. So Embiid can go, my other superstar set, I pull these guys through. Jokic was like, well, it's me and the assistant coaches, right? I pull these guys, and that there's a narrative. There's definitely a narrative in that process. Whereas that's not for Ja. His team won without him. His team won even more with him. Yeah. So that's the reason. Those are practical reasons. Yeah. Do I think he can be an MVP in the future? Yeah, absolutely. He could. Yeah. But I just don't think he'll get it this year.
KD?
Although when Jokic won MVP, his team was quite stacked. I mean, I think they finished third in the West that year. It was last year. And they had, Murray was still playing then, wasn't it? They had a up-and-coming Porter.
So let me clarify. It's all relative, right?
Right.
The reason why that made it so he won it last year was in part because he had an amazing season, and also in part there were a lot of other people who just, with a lot of the usuals, who didn't have either the resume or enough game time. Yeah. So I think they were like, I can't remember who it was, but whoever was potentially the primary guys who would be there with him, right? They were injured. Embiid was injured a lot last year, and I think that counts against him, or at least whoever's voting, it becomes a narrative, right? And so now all of a sudden you have a few people where it's up there. Then they start, well, how do you nitpick in between them, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. This guy's team is stronger than that one. This guy's team's record is bigger, right? And then people will place various things on each of them. I'm just saying Jokic has that card, whereas Morant doesn't, right? He probably does to a degree. Yeah.
Jokic, the Joker, has the card.
Is it? Is that your pick? Kirk, your thoughts? Can Ja this season win it?
No chance. See, there's 0%. Minus 0% chance. Yeah.
Okay.
And for all the reasons Tim said, I don't believe that strength of team influences that much, to be honest. But yeah, it's just, it's a popularity vote. It's just people vote for who they think is quiet. I don't think they use any sort of fucking logic or rhyme. It's just I like that, brothers. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I just think it's just.
I would hope that they use like. I get it because you actually
they can justify
it anyway. Yeah,
exactly. I don't believe they base it on anything. It's like you'll ever had a quiet season. I think you give them, and I vote for that. I mean, it was
on confirmation bias. You go and look for the things that you like in the player you really actually just want to vote for.
Yes.
I think Steph was the only MVP.
Unanimous
vote. I don't think there was any other MVP that did.
He was one, and then the other year he got it twice, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he got it twice.
And then the other year of I think there was like one clown that didn't vote for him.
Yes, yeah.
So then, if we move on from Ja, that leaves us with 3 left. We all who know who those 3 were. If you were to make your pick now, based on whatever reasons you would like to, who would you pick right now? You got to vote.
I'll pick Embiid.
Tell me.
He'd scratch his vote. He'd waste his vote.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
I think that one brother didn't vote funny, because look, we all care about the thing. I love Embiid, right?
So, with your rationale, Harden coming there would basically end Joel's chances of winning.
No, because I suppose if the team carries on winning, then it's quiet. Right? If the team wins a lot, like if the team goes up in the standings, then Embiid's still in there.
Well, they third. There's not much further they can go.
And they close.
They're like 2.5 games behind my.
So that's anything when you team. So there's probably some sort of threshold where if you are, I don't know if it's 3 or 4, then your team is considered to be winning a lot. Like so you're quiet, right? And then you can probably have a variety of different good players, right? Your team is still a winning team, right? If your team is a hondkak, like the Nuggets, but you're still pulling them into like 5, 6, then I think that narrative, I think it gathers enough steam. Yeah, I don't think it's Giannis. Just by the way. So process of elimination. Yeah. I wouldn't care if it's either Jokic or Joel. Maybe I go. I'm gonna use the most random of rationale. Right. The voting fatigue. They voted for Jokic last year. I think Joel's more outspoken in bigger media. He's done a hell of a job. If he doesn't get injured, Joel will take it. I agree with Kurt.
There's been more of a story around Joel all season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been more drama, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they come out of it making the conference finals.
Yeah. It's like if Aaron Gordon, like Joel could have or should have potentially won it last year. Right, and he didn't. He got injured. Right. If Aaron Gordon entered another dunk competition, right, you wouldn't even have to dunk. They'll just give it to him. You just win. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll do 7 layups. You'll do 7
time
layups.
lucky.
I'm sorry. We should have given it to you last year. There you go.
Yeah. And they'll make sure that he enters with last year's guys or this year's guys. Yeah. We're giving them a second chance against you. Yeah. Just make sure Zach doesn't enter either. Phone him and tell him, don't enter. I'm going against this young bucks. Speaking of the Nuggets, Tim, did they become better with DeMarcus Cousins? That bra is now a stuck joller, my bro. He hopped from team to team. He's a fucking joller. He probably has, DeMarcus Cousins probably has every NBA jersey.
Bro,
Way more than me.
He's got
original.
more shirts than KD.
Cousins make dozens, brother.
Cousins. Nice one. Drop the mic there.
So look here.
I must put in a sound effect.
Check the screen.
Yeah. Did they become better, Tim?
Only if you are a general manager of the stature of LeBron and remember the player from 10 years ago. Because Dapper has been on, I think, 4 different legit teams this year alone. Right? I thought when he got onto the Bucks, I was like, yo, this guy, he's gonna make a difference. Right? And you know what he did? He did focal. And then they let him go. There were a couple of teams where I was like, man, I feel good for this guy. He's about to, and then they let him go. And the reality is, right, if all the teams are letting you go, then you probably done. Yeah. So, like, is he gonna make a difference? How? He plays the same fucking position as Jokic.
That's exactly why he'll make a difference.
So the Bucks got him.
Because they can run the exact same system all the time. Even with Jokic off the floor.
The Bucks got him because they weren't sure what Lopez was going to do.
Yeah.
Right? Lopez didn't come back. And even though Lopez didn't come back, they were like, fuck this guy. This shit's not going to work. Yeah. Which teams was he in?
Okay.
Bucks. Prior to Bucks, it was...
Wasn't it Golden State?
Yes, it was Golden State. He was at Golden State for Taichi, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't it Dallas? And everybody fucking goes to Dallas. Everybody leaves Dallas.
Dallas is like a pit stop. Dallas is a pit stop. Except for one European every 10 years. The fucking Europeans don't know about pit stops. They get there and they stay there.
So since
it's the same like the African Greeks. They get to Milwaukee, they stay there, bro. Get yourself a good European basketball player. He's loyal.
Loyal.
So he was at the Rockets, and then Harden fucked him over, no? And then he went to the Clippers, and the Clippers were like, "Cool, we don't have a center. Oh, we had Zubac, or they got Zubac from the Lakers, and they were like, nah, we don't need you anymore." Right? Then he went to the Bucks because the Bucks didn't have any center, and I said, even though we don't have a center, we know we don't need you, right? And now he's in the Nuggets. I don't know.
I hope that it works out.
I hope it works out, right? But we probably shouldn't spend more than 3 minutes talking about this. Hoping for the best.
To be honest,
do you think
the best? I think that this is the best shot you'll have since he was at the Pels.
The Nuggets
with Anthony Davis.
Yes.
The best shot that he's ever had was the one with
the
the
best
Bucks.
Shot you have since the Pels.
Not the Bucks.
No.
Why would the Bucks not be his best shot? At what? At winning?
For him to fit in. The thing is, all those other teams, he's a role player. He's coming off the bench, he's playing center, but even coming off the bench, he's not the first option. Whereas if he goes to at Denver, he's focal. There's literally no one else. So it could be a right time, right place scenario for him where he just slots in, and like I said, they can run the same system. He's got a very similar skill set to Jokic, and it could work. I can see it working.
Timmy?
I hope it works. But it's the
I
same
don't give a
issue.
fuck. I don't want to talk about this. Can we move on?
We sit in the same scenario where we remember the guy from 5 years ago, right? It's why Russell Westbrook's in the Lakers and things are going pear-shaped, right? It's
why? Okay, Timmy, here's a transition for you, right? Is it because we are NBA fans that we remember so long because American sports reminds us about the past? But I don't find when I watch even the English Premier League or any South African sport that I remember like really good players and me getting excited when these players move. Besides Ronaldo, there's no real player that excites me. But it seems like in the NBA, like we are reminded about their past, and that's why these players get moved and we get excited, and then it doesn't end up working out as it did.
I mean, philosophically, right?
Okay.
The NBA's league is successful because it has marketed individual players over clubs. That's the recipe, right? So you have more player fans than you probably do. Well, maybe not more than club fans, right? But there's a large contingent of people who follow players, right? And the NBA does an amazing job of marketing it, right? That's the whole point. That's part of the magic. It's the recipe. It's very intentional. Yeah. And I think that means that the way we view players in that sport is slightly different. Also in other sports, right? One player has less of an impact. Whereas in basketball, you're one of 5 on the court at any given time, and you can actually play 90% of a game, right? And so your one individual can have an inordinate impact on a game, which is more than soccer or rugby or cricket or baseball or American football, where they have 150 players, right? It's why the salary cap, you can take 40% of your team's entire budget and spend it on one person, right? All of that means that the league is geared to individuals, right? And then when those individuals reach high sort of thresholds, we remember that, right? It's an important thing. And the reality is that athletes are these, it's high-end stuff. The difference in 5 years in an athlete is massive, right? And so as much as people come in and they're super athletes, that can fall off a cliff super quickly, especially with everybody else coming along. And I think all of those things play into that. And then because of the league and its structure and its individual sort of focus, it means that players move more in these sports than in others. The only other sport that I can think of actual superstar players moving a lot, right, is New Zealand rugby. And that's because they don't choose where they play. It's because the All Blacks or the national organization goes, okay, cool, we need to spread the love. You're gonna go there, you're gonna go there, you're gonna go there. Actually, don't know if that happens that way. It just feels like it happens that way.
I was gonna say now that is hectic.
but they do that very intentionally. I think that there's at least a thought process like that. I actually don't. I don't really know for sure. And I suppose those are my thoughts.
Kirk, you watch a lot of EPL, so I actually lean this question towards your opinion on EPL fans following players versus NBA and. Your thoughts on what I said, bro?
So, funnily enough, Tim was actually right.
Philosophically.
Because philosophically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think the biggest thing is that, so the big thing about the NBA is they, like Tim said, they market individuals, and there are a lot more stories around individual players. So as fans, you become engaged with the story or how the stories unfold and players moving around and stuff. It's part of the whole package of the NBA, right? Whereas, and the reason for that is, like Timmy says, any position, you can have a player in any position become a superstar. From point guard to center to 6 man. I mean, 2 years ago, everybody was Montrezl Harrell because he was the fucking best six man since whenever, and that was the story. And it's a Barak under the bench. And then he got traded, and that was even bigger news because he went from one LA team to another LA team. In EPL, it's basically your strikers, or I mean, in football, it's your strikers and a really good midfielder, the occasional wing that will catch the headlines and be like, yo, this guy's a superstar. And it's less likely that one player can have as big an impact in a football game as much as they can have an impact on in a basketball game. So I think those are the things. So it's, the player's ability to impact the game is less so in soccer because it's just the dynamics of the game and how the game is played. Because I was just thinking now, what win-loss was the like hype around the goalkeeper, and it was really, I think De Gea was probably the last keeper that really took the one. But even so, it was there were polarized views on how good he was. I guess Real Madrid's keeper of a few years ago, I think he's probably one of the most famous keepers.
Courtois.
Yeah.
Courtois.
Nein, that's the current.
Oh.
But I think it's, because players have more impact in NBA games, them moving is more of a story because they're going to go have an impact on a different team. So you're going to see how this team is going to impact this team. But I think more than any of that, Timmy's jadedness is because of how Westbrook taken. Because at the beginning of the season, Timmy was all in on Westbrook and how fantastic.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Change them, crash them, burn them. Everyone's like, fuck these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Only Luka is gonna change the NBA.
Yeah, that's it. But I'll wait.
But on that, now that we're talking about Luka,
What's the ball come up?
You think that he's his own worst enemy? It feels like he's a difficult brat to play with. It feels like when there's somebody else that's vying for the spotlight, he don't grant it and he wants to be the. So I mean, he says lots of different things in his interviews and things about how he loves his team and blah blah blah. But I mean, proof is in the pudding. We'll see how long Dinwiddie lasts.
I think that's a good point. I think that's going to be the acid test, and Dinwiddie specifically, because you're not that guy, but I kind of do need him, right?
Yeah.
And if he does too well,
again,
what's he going to do?
He's got the type of game that makes highlights. So
yeah.
So there was a Mavs exec that actually he made his money on gambling, right? And then he started.
Is that how you got Luka?
Hey?
Is that how you got Luka?
That I don't think this cap was part of it, right? So anyway, so then he made his name in gambling, and then he started becoming like quite popular. He got on a couple of podcasts or whatever. Then he started working for NBA teams, and then the Mavs hired him, right? And he left at the end of last season or beginning of the season, right? And clearly there was beef of some sorts, and he's been interviewed since. And so there's not a lot of love lost, right? Between him and I suppose he chooses his words carefully, but clearly something didn't go right in that organization. And these are already made, right? So you don't have to act like anything else. Yeah. One of the last podcasts that he had actually said something quite different. And this is from somebody who's not viewed as him being a massive fan. He was like, actually players dig playing with Luka, right? Because Luka makes shit easy for them. Yeah. So I suppose that's the type of player. But if you surround the bro with lots of role players, he can make them look good because he'll create space for them. And he'll hit them in the money. right? If the right spot, you'll hit him there. I suppose the things he needs to create, right? And he likes creating, and if he's doing a bad job of that, then they're in the cut. But generally, I suppose maybe it's because I'm looking for confirmation bias, because I'm hoping for the best, right? Generally, it looks like people enjoy playing with the bra.
Yeah, but specifically role players.
Role players, because Kristaps would definitely did not.
But that's my point.
Okay.
So why do superstars not like them? Or why are superstars not included in the conversation?
Are we included? Are we saying KP is a superstar?
No.
Okay.
He was.
I think he's a superstar.
He's the closest thing that the Mavs have had to a superstar.
Yeah, he's a big name. He's a big name.
Even as
it is. I mean, Kristaps Porzingis. That's a lot of letters. Very big name. He probably has a middle name also.
You slap that in Scrabble and the game's done. There's not even enough letters in Scrabble to make his name.
For 600 points. Yeah. Kristaps Porzingis. No, man, I mean, as in, how did you feel when you found out Kristaps is going to Dallas? You were like, that's just.
Wait for it.
No, I was happy. And I was sad when they traded him. I still think the partnership makes sense. Right? And this year when he was playing defense, he looked good. And I suppose when he was playing defense, he only played marginally more than Anthony Davis.
So why do you think Dallas would get rid of him?
I think probably a couple of reasons. One, right? I think the rumors around them not getting along were real, and you can only at some point you're gonna have to pick somebody, right? Or you frustrate the bra you wanna keep, right? And then the next thing is I think that you'll keep them so long as you think they can win. But if you're thinking, man, this shit isn't working out for whatever reason, and it's pissing off your primary player, then you pull the plug. And the reality is that he was playing quiet this year. He was, but he was injured a lot, man. And I think that probably, if he had to stay on the floor, I think things probably would have worked out. But he wasn't. And then he's a big salary, and then you're like, oh, fuck it. Do what I must do. I suspect. That's the only thing that makes sense in my mind.
Okay.
I'm just salty at the Mavs because they beat the fucking Golden State Warriors last time, coming back from 20 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I saw that. That was quiet though. That was quiet.
But so,
He's a starter. He's a superstar.
So interesting thing, when they interviewed Spencer after the game, he said, as much as Golden State can go on a run and blow you out, we all know that they give up leads very easily.
He said
wow.
Yeah. He said in the post match.
That is going to be a wonderful narrative. That follows through.
So it feels like teams know that they can. There's a weakness in Golden State Warriors. They can drug them and they'll crack. They have the potential of that. Yeah.
Well, that's not good, eh?
That's also
good. That's also
right. Because that's like the worst. Because even if after 3 quarters you up by 20, teams will be like, "Nah, we can.
Yeah,
we can."
You must go on a run and they'll crack.
Yeah. That's the worst narrative.
Oh yeah.
You can always win.
Yeah.
Although,
but the flip side happens, right? Teams are up 15, and then Steph hits 3 threes, and they're like, "Well, fuck it."
Yeah.
Wop.
One knowing your team is gonna be like, "No, they're gonna crack. Keep pushing." And
it's like that motherfucker just hit 3 threes from the logo.
Yeah.
You got him, motherfucker. You got him.
And it's always
it's Gordon Looney by saying, "Bro, we in this game."
Yeah, motherfucker, because your bra's doing shit.
You were right there with me.
My bad. Got a call.
Right? Is that the moon behind you?
No, it's the reflection of a light.
What is the moon but the reflection of the light?
That might have been my favorite moment. Earlier.
I know.
Philosophically speaking.
Philosophically speaking.
The moon is but merely a reflection of the light from down yonder.
You motherfuckers. All right, let's wrap it up. KD, your section, bro. Let's
On that note,
games ahead. It's getting to that part of the vlog now where it's gonna go downhill now. Okay, games ahead. So let's go with this. To our 2 TikTok followers and our 4 subscribers on YouTube. The fact that you are watching all the way to this point, that's fucking just.
Are you gonna edit it and only play this part?
No. Oh yeah. That's gonna start with this guy. If we gave everybody 3 games to watch over the next 7 days. 3 games. Pick 3 games that we are saying with our extensive knowledge of the NBA. Which 3 games would we suggest? This is going to be just games to watch over this next 7 days. Timmy, feel free to jump in if you think one of these games make a top 3 game.
I must go through all the games.
Yeah, no, but okay. So maybe I'm gonna get in the early.
Bad.
I think Philly and Miami have a series. I think they play 2 games in the next week. They play next Saturday for sure, and I think they play.
Or pick one a night, Kirk. It might be easier.
So there's tonight is Miami, Chicago.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one. Hornets Bucks will be entertaining as well.
When is that?
Tonight as well. There's a lot of good games.
Right, yeah.
Warriors Timberwolves. That will be a good game. Timberwolves have been closing games nicely over the last few weeks.
You mean other against Philly?
Eh? Not against Philly, no. No. Mavs Lakers, that's going to be a close game. Close to somebody's heart.
Yeah.
That's what the closest will get.
But I put beers on it.
I bet a keg that the Lakers beat the Mavericks tomorrow night.
Whoa!
A keg of Castle Moonstar. Keg of Castle Moonstar.
Okay, keep going.
Celtics Hawks. Celtics are on a roll.
Yes.
On Wednesday, Miami Bucks. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, both teams are as strong as they can be. Our Bucks are missing some fairly long-term injuries, but I mean they're so pretty strong. They've got the big 3, so.
It almost feels to me, sorry, while you're just looking at the game, it almost feels like the Bucks are preparing themselves for the playoffs.
Yes,
it just sounds like it. They're like just quietly going about the things. You know, they win some, they lose some. They're making some changes within the game. They're changing rotations. It just feels like they're not doing anything fancy. They just like, let's get our squad ready for the playoffs while the rest are making all the noise.
Them and Miami, eh? Miami's doing the same thing.
Yeah, same vibes.
Under the radar, mooring people, take a loss every now and then, fix things, do something different. Yeah. The game of the week is probably Philly, Miami. I think it's Friday or Saturday. That has got to be the game of the week. They're good Eastern Conference games with Miami, Bulls, Bucks, whole week. But that Philly Miami game, I think is going to be a big one. It's in Miami, right? Yeah. Harden and Embiid, no doubt, will want to make a statement. Jimmy, Lowry, Bam, all of them are playing. None of them are going to take any shit like that's. Like that, I think that is going to be a monster game.
Yeah. Depending on how the week goes, they could jump to second if they win that game.
Philly, Miami.
Philly.
Miami's on top.
Miami's on top.
Philly's 2.5 games behind. Chicago's 1 game behind. So.
And as much as I love Chicago, they're not a guaranteed W either. They could lose 2 in a row. They could. And then they win 6 in a row.
With their current makeup, they go as the Rosen goes. I mean,
yeah. So my point is, Philly could easily jump to second this week.
Does Chicago also play Miami this week?
Yes.
Yeah. That's like any game with any one of those teams in is something to watch.
Then another good game. Thursday, there are a bunch of good games. Not a bunch, but there are some good games. There's Grizz Celtics. That's going to be a good one.
Grizz Celtics.
Miami, New Jersey. Warriors, Mavericks. Lakers, Clippers. There's a good few games on Thursday.
This is a week to watch.
Okay. Then Friday, Bulls, Bucks.
No love for Magic versus Toronto, then no.
Maybe Pistons, Pacers.
Pistons, Pacers. Yeah.
When I'm betting that one, wait.
Pistons, Pacers. God damn. There's gonna be like 7 people in that stand. And Ron Artest.
Kate Cunningham's family.
Yeah. There's nothing happening there, pal. Nothing.
Saturday.
It's like watching a Houston Magic game. It's clear. Okay.
I'll watch Houston now because Dennis Schroeder's there and he's in my fantasy team and I need to see him.
It's always fantasy based.
That's a long and short of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Saturday, Lakers, Warriors, Heat 76ers. Kings Mavericks wouldn't be a bad game either. Actually.
That's bra.
Kings Mavericks.
Kings are plucky, man. They're plucky.
You've got fuck all else to do at 5 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Yeah. Then maybe.
When your shots haven't worn off yet.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the clip of Steph? His warm-up routine.
Madness.
So actually, I'm very glad you raised that because that's not so bad. Actually.
For him.
You must watch.
For him.
No, just in general. You must watch the on League Pass. They've got these they've got the pre-game warm-ups of random games. Every now and then they've got Do yourself a favor and go watch those 2 game warm-ups. You will see some cup in there. I was telling Timmy the other day I was watching, and Derek White. they were focusing on Derek White for a period. You know who Derek White is?
I don't. Tell me about Derek White.
My point exactly. You don't know who Derek White is. But he plays in the NBA and he just got traded to the Celtics. So they were focusing on him because I think it was his first year. It was just they were talking about him having moved to the Celtics now. This bra probably took 40 shots, all threes. He didn't miss one. Doing random things. So he'll do in-game stuff. He'll do like spider dribble, step back, 3. Guys on him, back the guy up, so that the defense sags, attack the bra, go up. He does 5 of that. Crossover, step back, 3. He must have done 5 of those drills, shooting 5, and he did that twice. He didn't miss a shot. So,
and he's not considered a great shooter.
Yeah.
In game.
Yeah.
Okay, now this clip I'm cutting up. Can you find me that clip, Kurt?
I'll go look for it. Yeah,
because that'll be quite viral clip. Our conversation. Show Derek White's clip. That's just.
Yeah.
That's just.
Who's owns like, bruh, NBA owns can't take because owns can shoot. They don't miss.
That's phenomenal, eh? That you can shoot so well at practice, and in a game, you're bombing 30%.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy, man.
You're bombing 30% threes in the NBA. You got a job.
Yeah. That's like my whole point. That's why if you're bombing 3 out of 10, you make a team. You'll make a team.
Okay. It's if you say they post you like a fucking pair of dirty socks. But he still has a team.
Yeah, still has a job. Damn. No, good point.
But yeah,
good point.
That clip was before. Of Steph.
Yeah, to wrap it up, the clip was quiet.
Yeah.
But it's not so quiet.
But it's not so quiet like everybody thinks it is.
Yeah. If you know the clips, then it's not. Yeah. But those clips make it on social media because of it's viral. It's something cool to see.
Because it's Steph.
And because it's him. Because it's him.
Yeah.
Because real NBA players are like, yeah, Jimmy can do that. Jimmy, the assistant coach, Jimmy, he did that yesterday. Yeah. Now there's gonna be other NBA players making clips of them shooting like that. In the hope of landing a hashtag Steph challenge. Boys, any last thoughts on the NBA? Something that's exciting you before we wrap it up? A storyline that you heard of, read about? I think we've covered most of what's trending. Anything else that you think?
I do think Ben Simmons waiting to make his debut against the 76ers is a fucking stupid thing. I mean, why did
it's clickbait?
Exactly. I mean, why did he do that? Why did he do that?
Especially if you don't like the attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
The game's in Brooklyn, right?
I think so.
The game's in Brooklyn. How many Philly fans do you think are going to drive up and go to that game and start?
And it's not far.
Start booing. Yeah. I promise you, they'll never. That franchise will figure out how not to sell tickets to them because they're coming.
Yeah. That game is going to be hectic. Even for Seth Curry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody.
I think Seth and Drummond will have bigger games than Simmons.
Yo, when is that game? When is that game? Let's have a bet.
The 12th, I think.
That's a Jets game. That's a Jets game.
I say James Harden is going to have the biggest impact on the game. Klaar gesê.
Okay, so your argument, you think he's going to have the most points, assists, and rebounds. Fantasy
impact.
points.
The biggest impact.
Fantasy points.
He's going to have the most influence.
I think Embiid will.
I think.
Nobody's giving a fuck about Nets.
No, I was going to say, I think the person that's got the biggest impact is the absence of Kyrie.
Okay, but you can't bet on that. Fuck you.
But for a second, I almost did.
Philosophically. Yeah. I would be thinking that a anti-Kyrie game shall be the biggest blocker of this contest.
I think the fact that they're not going to have Gouda cheese on the hot dog is going to have.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Tim?
He's only going to have 18 ice blocks in it, not 20.
I was thinking something similar, no doubt, but actually we haven't talked about the West much. I think it's an underplayed story around CP3 not being around for the Suns. I'm man, it was a feel-good season that they were having. Without CP3, I think that they might be in trouble. Or at least when it really matters, a little bit later, I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
But I think we all agree on that the Suns are a really amazing team. But if the Suns entered the playoffs, my opinion, if the Suns entered the playoffs without CP3, and even if they played the Lakers, the Suns must be worried.
So who are they going to get? They'll get the Clippers are on 8 now.
Yeah.
So whether it's the Clippers or the Lakers, they'll get them in the first round.
Clippers, I think they'd win because they don't have the depth.
Yeah.
The Lakers, even though the Lakers are one cack, they have LeBron, and you don't have CP3. Nah.
Is Anthony Davis playing again? I mean, is he gonna play? Or is he out for the season?
He's only out 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks.
But then he comes back at the same time as CP3.
Nice sooner.
A week sooner. But that means that he must recover at the same rate that he recovers that other people do when he doesn't. And when he's 6'8" back, he mustn't be brittle again.
Actually, he's a week sooner than CP3.
CP3 goes, that price taking steroids right now.
The earlier Anthony Davis come back, the worse it is for the Lakers. That just means there's more time for him to get injured before the play.
Stop. Finish. Let's cut it. We're done.
Yeah. So we didn't make a bet. We'll do it next week.
We'll do it closer to the actual.
Yeah.
Just fucking 2 week time bet don't work out.
Yeah. No, exactly. Next week you do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Give it some coding, go pull up some stats. You can go to what's that website you talked about to me?
Stats.com.
Basketball Hub.
That was.
Or a different hub.
For stats. And it's going working hard here for stats, so goddamn. All right, peace out, boys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
All right, cheers.
Bye.